Ladies and gentlemen, I have here for you today a replica environment immolation device, otherwise known as READ. Inside our READ, we have an ioSafe N2.
The ioSafe N2 boasts that it is fireproof for up to 1550 degrees Fahrenheit and waterproof for up to 72 hours.
As you might expect, the plan is for us to light this thing on fire.
This meticulously constructed wood box is an attempt to roughly simulate some of the conditions which the server could, experience while being burned alive.
The floor of our replica environment immolation device is perforated so that heat may rise from the coals in our burn pit and set the READ on fire completely. We're going to be adding accelerant to the top of this so that we have a very even burn, and with any luck we'll have a nice shot of the actual ceiling coming down on top of this ioSafe. From there we'll have simulations firefighters who will show up, put the fire out, and then we will retrieve the ioSafe N2 and try and get our data off of it and see if it actually works.
And this is so we can get READ all wet.
So, as much as this doesn't look like your standard office construction, we are simulating an enclosure, mostly to have, burning flammable materials on top of it, and also for the holes underneath and whatnot for the heat to penetrate quickly, because the flames are mostly there for visual. They're exciting, but the real damage comes from the high temperatures from the coals resultant from the fire that sit there and emanate much, much heat.
So today we are going to be igniting our replica environment immolation device with the ioSafe tucked safely inside. It's going to be running while we do this, and we will be watching a video clip off the unit, as well as copying files between it and the laptop sitting here, just to see approximately what point through the burn that the ioSafe actually gives out and stops feeding us information. Theoretically, the drives should remain intact all the way through, but we will see about that. What we have here is a laptop. There's a cheap 5-port gig switch here, sitting kind of as a circuit breaker just in case something happens. We're not expecting anything to, but we don't want to accidentally ruin the laptop NIC port if something does go strangely awry. Additionally, we've got circuit breakers in between our power source going to the ioSafe, so it's all nicely isolated.
Directly over to the ioSafe, and we are streaming video off of it as we are about to place this thing into the fire. Oh! Wow! That is impressive. The ioSafe is almost entirely engulfed in flames. We are still transmitting data. The power cord is actually on fire at this point, but it is still working. Oh! It appears to have finally stopped. We no longer have data. The ioSafe is off. Stand by with the fire extinguishers in case of anything. Oh, and that was kind of why we have circuit protection. And this is truly turning into a hellish inferno. Sort of like what I imagine Microsoft's licensing department looks like. Or perhaps where the Metro interface was born.
That is a hot fire.
That is a hot fire. I can feel this, like it is too close to be near this fire. I'm actually starting to worry about some of the equipment that we've got here. Looks like we're getting close to having the ioSafe actually immediately fall into the burning pit and soak itself into coal. Let's see what this thing is really made of, shall we?
According to the clock on this camera, we have actually only been burning it for 8 minutes, or thereabouts.
I'm really curious what opens up.
Actually, any wiring out the back has got to be like long since melted it. Because the copper was on fire, eh? Like all
Yeah.
At least now I know what an incinerated Cat 6 cable looks like in case I ever have to do one again.
We're now about 20 minutes into the burn.
We're going to be pulling out our extinguishing equipment. We're going to be dousing this with water, and we're going to see what's going to happen to this metal box once we cool it down very, very quickly.
Any fire, there is a possibility of both a chemical and a water base attack by the firefighters. So what we're going to have is Josh is going to put this out first with the fire extinguisher, and then we are going to hose off all of the remains to get the coals and the ioSafe as cool as possible, as quickly as possible, which is something that would happen in real fire. All right, shall we begin? Fire in the hole!
It was fantastic.
Welcome to the Register's post-read ioSafe disassembly, where we tear this thing apart and see if it still works. Your technician today, Matt, master of the Allen key.
Okay, that's interesting.
Ah, there we go. Now this is interesting, eh? So some of that powder from the fire extinguisher, yeah, managed to get this far in.
Interesting. Somebody write that down.
Now this panel here is relatively easy to move on a new unit. It's not quite so heavy. There we go.
Wow, that looks brand new.
Mint condition.
Mint condition. Hallelujah. There you go.
Right on.
Just works. All the files right there, man.